Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing another deck with cards from the new The Tide Rises expansion, with the last faction we have yet to try. Today we're playing in Standard, and this one's crazy. Now let's go take a look at the deck. So today we'll be playing a Syndicate Hidden Cache deck, combining Pirates cards from the new The Tide Rises expansion, with the Tidecloaks scenario in search of forgotten treasures, and Bounty. Syndicate is already the most complicated faction, and we are doing a lot of things with this deck. So it is very difficult to play, but when you get it to work, it feels amazing. Let me start with one of the new cards to show you why we're doing this, because we have the new Vice keyword, and any ability that says Vice will trigger after we've spent that number of coins. Then if we spend that number of coins again, we can trigger that Vice ability again. That means that we want to generate a bunch of coins, spend a bunch of coins, and we want to do those things quickly. Not only to maximize the number of times we activate those Vice abilities, but also so that we can do that in quick bursts, so that we can get good value from those Vice cards before they can get answered. So in the case of the Deckhand, this will get boosted when we spend a bunch of coins. Ixora will destroy the lowest card when we spend a bunch of coins. And when we spend a huge chunk of coins, the Acherontia will play an extra card from our deck. So especially for Ixora and the Acherontia, getting at least one, if not multiple, of these Vice triggers can give you unbelievable value. That's why we have cards that can set bounties, like Caleb, and a couple of Witch Hunters, along with Freak Show, and 2 Witch Hunter Executioners, so that we can spend a bunch of coins on one turn, destroy the unit that has a bounty to get even more coins, and then spend all the coins we got from the bounty as well. That way, with the help of bounty, we can spend more than 9 coins per turn, which is fantastic for those Vice cards, especially the Acherontia, because since this is Vice 10, that means the only way you're triggering this on the same turn that you play it is if you have a way to generate more coins mid-turn, like with bounty. And then we're going Hidden Cache plus In Search of Forgotten Treasures, because with that Chapter 1 ability, we have a way to consistently spend a bunch of coins every turn and still get all of our coins refunded back. So if you can combine this with the Acherontia, you can play tons of additional cards. Then at least once per round, we'll want to finish our turn with at least 7 coins. That way we will trigger Flyndra's Crew ability, so that if we play this with our scenario in round 3, we can spend basically every coin every turn, and still get back up to 9 for our next turn. Then we have a few extra Tidecloaks to help trigger that scenario, like Imke, who gives us another way to generate coins, and Treasure Huntress, who gives us another way to generate coins. And if you combine this with this scenario, and play a unit to the left of the scenario, give it the infusion to generate coins at the end of your turn, that is how you can quite literally spend every single coin every turn and still get back up to maximum coins automatically. So that's what we're trying to do. It is extremely complicated and extremely difficult because there's a lot of math that is going on every turn to figure out how best to generate and spend those coins, how to most efficiently reach certain coin thresholds, and whether you want to play those Vice cards early and maximize the number of times you can trigger those Vice abilities, or play it safe by waiting until you already have a bunch of coins and a coin spender on the board ready to go so that you can trigger those Vice abilities as soon as you play the Vice cards. So with all that, it is probably near impossible to play a match with this absolutely perfectly. I certainly made some slip-ups here and there, but hopefully I can still show you what this deck is capable of. Especially if you have time to put in more than just 2 practice matches like me. So let's go see it in action. Alright, so going up against Nilfgaard here, and we'll go first. Alright, so I like the thinning with Sewer Raiders. We obviously have Acherontia, that's huge. We don't want to have Flying Redanian in hand, though. Other stuff we'd like to build around in round 1, Hunter plus Executioner. That could work. We'd like to save Flyndra's Crew as well. Kurt, I mean, against Nilfgaard, that's probably going to be pretty relevant, and Caleb gives us more bounty potential. Okay, I think this works. It's very bounty-centric for the moment. But I think, especially against Nilfgaard, let's start a little bit slow. I mean, I expect them to be soldiers, which kind of stinks, because that means they're going to have a lot of armor, which is not going to work well with bounty. Well, let's do Stratagem, let's do Sewer Raiders, we'll get the thinning, at the very least, and that gives us some time to figure out what they're going to do here. Masquerade Ball. Okay, so that's why we did that. In case they're about to drop something like Masquerade Ball on turn 1. Alright, now this is going to get boosted, which is also not good news for us, because that makes it very hard to remove with Bounty. And we still don't really want to play anything big on this turn, otherwise we're just inviting that to get removed by Masquerade Ball. It might kind of have to be you, though. Might have to deal with putting a bounty on a unit that's going to get boosted, because otherwise we're going to have to commit something that's pretty big. I mean, yeah, we could Purify with Kurt, but we might want to save that, because I imagine they're going to have a lot more statuses than just this. Okay, but Ramon is not an aristocrat, and that is not in flanking position, so that's a little bit questionable, but you did give us an opportunity here to get rid of that Thirsty Dame, so I think we have to seize upon that opportunity and go with the Executioner now. So let's do this. And we should have enough coins to get you. And, I mean, we can hit you with bleed at this point, which is something. Eventually that might destroy you. But we're not getting rid of the armor, so you are going to hit us still. And this is our only executioner in hand, right? Okay, so this guy is pretty valuable to us. I think what we'll do in that case is we'll throw 3 points of bleed on you. That way, if you don't get boosted, you are at least eventually going to get destroyed. We'll go leader ability here, so that we're on the threshold to get bowed out. So at least we're getting that. We're also reaching the Flyndra's crew threshold. So if we have to pass early, we can. Okay, they're going with another Thirsty Dame, and honestly, we might just do that. We might just say, alright, you know what? You wanted to commit Masquerade Ball round 1, so be it. You're still going to have to go a card down. I mean, it's not a huge deal when the round is this short, but that might still mean we want to pass here, unless we do have enough coins that if we were to get a bounty on that Thirsty Dame, we could destroy that as well. I'm still not really sure that's a good enough reason to be playing here. We get down a Deckhand, and we can get that boosted up when we spend all these coins, but I don't want to play Caleb. Maybe Kurt, but I think we just pass here. Alright, they will use leader ability. We baited that out, and they are going to still have to play something else, of course. Fangs the Empire. Okay, so definitely a lot of signs of statuses, in addition to what we originally suspected, that being soldiers. So that's good to have that in the back of our mind going forward. Okay, so we do have one more card than our opponent. They have at least 2 throwaways. I mean, I'd kind of expect them to try to push here. They might even be a double scenario deck, though that'd be pretty difficult to fit soldiers, Masquerade Ball setup, and cultists all in the same deck. So I kind of like going unitless for a little while with Open Sesame, and then we do still need a spender, though, and we don't really have any right now. So I think that's the biggest weakness at the moment. So we might even dump you Townsfolk. I mean, it's more stuff similar to the Deckhand. That, yeah, we're looking for spenders here. We don't really have any. Okay, they're just going to completely dry pass, but so that's fine. That's perfect, in fact. They kind of let us off easy. So I think we open Sesame just to get this in our graveyard, because that does give us some carryover potential. So that works well for us. And then for our throwaway, it might be a Deckhand. I mean, they are potentially quite good. This also gets out Boat. But technically, we could pass here, and Boat alone is enough. And we did already reach the Flyndra's crew threshold as well. All right, you know what? I guess we'll leave it at that. That does work. Okay, but we draw into Purge, and we have decent bounty setup with these two. Granted, I do expect Caleb to get answered very quickly, but Azar Javed, I think, is the big card we're looking for here. Make sure we have enough Tidecloaks to set up scenario, and we do. Okay. So, Deckhand, we might be able to get something a little bit better. I mean, it's certainly not bad. Oh, we don't have scenario itself? Yeah, that's something we'd probably like to see. We don't get it, though. It is possible we could play it with Acherontia. Alright, that's what we're going to have to focus on in that case. That definitely complicates things quite a bit. I think we get down an engine early as removal bait and as something that can benefit if it does actually stay on the board, but we are going to need to get some spenders out so that as soon as we play the Acherontia, we can at least guarantee that we get 1 round of the Vice ability here. We're going to want to put this behind the defender. Hoakim. Okay, we are going to need a lot of board space here, potentially, at least. That means probably going to want to use a defender here right now, because presumably they're about to coup this Hoakim, so we can at least complicate things for them if we do this. Let's, I think we'll go here, because this is going to get bigger, and there is a chance they have treason. Let's use the tribute. Yes, it is going to make this row crowded. I think that is probably still a price that we're willing to pay here. I'm going to leave this unspent for the time being. Yes, it would get us up to the threshold for Boat, but at the same time, it is also a nice, easy way for us to be able to spend 10 coins in 1 turn. But they're going to remove, well, maybe not remove 1. Okay, yes, they will remove 1. But now we can get down a spender, which is critically important. I mean, we can set up bounties. Really don't have much else beyond that, which is a pretty big issue. So I think it's going to be Caleb, and then hopefully we'll have enough time to go Mercenary Contract into likely a Freak Show or Witch Hunter Executioner. So we have a way to benefit from those bounties more directly. But we only have 1 defender left. So we don't have a lot of time to do this. And you're boosted, you have a little bit of armor. It's not great, but I am going to at least do this so that we have a way to do something against the unit that has bounty in case they do manage to remove defender and still go after Caleb on the same turn. Okay. But we've just enough time to go after that. Okay, so it's going to have to be Mercenary Contract, I think, right now. It technically means we're going to have to overspend a little bit to make this happen. But that's one of the reasons why we wanted to get you down earlier. Okay, so I think we'll prefer Freak Show. It's a little bit better, a little more flexible. Let's go, yes, here, now that Defender isn't really doing anything. So now we're going to hit you and remove you. We will, unfortunately, need to do this, though. Okay, and so now it's a little bit tricky. Yes, we could put a bounty, but we really don't want to put it on an 11 power unit that has all those boosts. So they're going to at least have to choose who they're going after here. It looks like it's going to take them a turn to make it happen, though. So they don't immediately remove Caleb. So now that's actually a really big deal, because we can use Acherontia on this turn. And that is the opportunity that we were waiting for. So let's use this. And I think now what this gets us, technically we'll overprofit slightly. But as long as we can... okay, no. Actually, first, we go Caleb, bounty on you. Then, it's Acherontia. Now, it's damage. And now we're just going to need to spend all of our coins here. No bounty. It's Caleb's on cooldown, so we are trying to get at least one card draw from the Acherontia. Not really the card we would have preferred. I mean, Scenario would have been ideal, of course, but we'll live with Townsfolk, I suppose. And so in the process, we obviously dealt a lot of damage. What are they going to go after? Caleb, I assume? Yeah. But we got the Deckhand boosted up a little bit as well. And we still have, yeah, one source of bounty here. We can also get more. I mean, Imke, obviously, playing her early would be nice too, but I was kind of waiting to see if we were going to get Scenario. Do we have anything that matters from a Horde standpoint? I don't think so, other than the Huntress. I mean, yeah, without Scenario, that's not all that useful, to be honest with you. So I think for those reasons, I mean, we aren't going to get immediate coinage from Kurt, so we might go Imke now and just try to get some coin generation out of it. And we're just going to go and hit whatever we can with Freak Show. Okay, Usurper has Veil, so we're not going to be targeting him. Don't have great targets to go after with the bounty, unfortunately. We could Purify Usurper if we really wanted to. We do get some profit from Treasure Huntress. What are you're on 10 coins still that we need. You are another Vice card. I guess we'll get Ixora down here. And we're just stacking up the number of cards that they need an answer for. Okay. This is basically a dead card until we get something out of the Acherontia. Something new out of the Acherontia. We really should do something with Freak Show. Okay, they'll steal those back, sure. Okay, it's Fergus. More statuses. I mean, we suspected they were going to use a coup before, but we never saw it. So that might be coming. Obviously, Terra Nova as well could be a possibility. You are a great bounty target if we had the coins to do it, but unfortunately, we don't. We could bounty on you, but Freak Show can only spend in increments of 2, which is very unfortunate. Okay, I mean, I think we might do that nonetheless. And at least get closer to triggering a bounty, because that way we get more coins more quickly and are becoming closer to triggering both of these. We want to definitely get rid of you, because otherwise Ixora is going to remove a 1-point body, and that's not very useful. Okay, it's Brothans, who is an engine. Oh, what the heck? Okay, that's a weird one. Okay, so Flyndra's crew technically does set up Treasure Huntress. Treasure Huntress we kind of like to play early if we could even get her ability active, but she's mostly here for just the profit at this point because, I mean, well, not doing much unless and until we happen to get Scenario right here, right now, which, can we make that happen? We spend here, then we can spend, okay, we might be able to make that happen. We spend a little bit more. We'll get out you. It's not really going to make a huge difference, I don't think. This is 1-point profit, which I think is possibly still our best option. Okay, and now I guess we'll go Flyndra's crew. Okay, so unfortunately, the cards we ended up getting from Acherontia were not great, and we did not end up doing all that well for... we didn't get our Scenario, of course, which stinks. Can we still make this work? They go in poison. And there isn't really reason to purify, I don't think. They will poison. Okay, they're going for the biggest body with the deckhand, so presumably that is some form of removal. That alone would still mean we're in okay position here. If we can spend enough coins that, yeah, we can hopefully still get some removal here from Ixora. And Acherontia looks pretty unlikely. We will get some profit, though. Technically, getting coin generation does give a little bit of a boost to Townsfolk, but I think pure damage is still preferable. In fact, we use Freak Show, destroy you, so the Ixora destroys a 3 instead. I think it's probably our best option here. Then we just deal damage for the sake of dealing damage. Alright. So we at least flooded the board with enough units and had enough value on Freak Show that even with their control, we still hold on for the win. Alright, so going up against monsters here. And we'll go first. Alright, so don't want boat in hand. We have Scenario, that's obviously huge. Other than that, we have Defender. Okay, I mean, we have Bounty damage, but we don't really have Bounty setup at the moment. So that is, yeah, we definitely have plenty of damage, but we need the setup. So we might get rid of Townsfolk here. That is a little bit of a way to set up Bounty, but might dump you. Okay, it's kind of an awkward mix here. So I think what we'll do is we'll go Tiger's Eye, and we'll go Sewer Raiders. Start off a little bit slow here, and just get a sense for what they're trying to do here. They're Carapace. Does that mean Kelly? Does that mean Ogroids? That means Ogroids. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, we can play Freak Show immediately and remove both of those. It's technically a little bit of overkill damage. We could technically Purge and destroy one, put a bounty on the other, but that's not terribly efficient. I think we'll go Freak Show. But these were the little engines, and they are going to be almost entirely humongous point slams, which technically speaking does work well for bounty if we have the coins to set it up, but being 10 power is unfortunate because we can only get 9 coins at a time, which does make it a little bit awkward. But maybe if we go get Executioner down, mostly just for the profit, to be honest with you. That gets us to 5. We hit you. And then leader ability as well. And mostly what I'm trying to do here is set us up on our next turn for a Purge. Okay. So if we can do that, then suddenly we're in very good shape. And I think that actually means we want to hit you first, because we're going to get 10 coins when we destroy you. Well, no. Actually, we won't, because we put the bounty on the card that we end up hitting next. Okay. That's a little unfortunate. In that case, we might need some additional coin generation from something like Imke. So, okay. I guess we'll do this. And we just need this to not get boosted yet. Okay, old Spear Tip is going to turn to another point slam. No! Okay, that makes our lives a lot more difficult. So now we have, what? Just 1 Witch Hunter. So this is worth 4 damage, which is not yet good enough to pass over the bounty to you. But I think we're going to have to make it work on this turn anyway. Unless we get greedy and go Acherontia Deckhand to get some boosts from our spending that is coming in the near future. Alright, you know what? We're going to go for it. No! Stop doing that! Alright, now it's hopeless. Now there is, I don't think, any feasible way to make this work. I mean, maybe Mercenary Contract. We could get something else down. We could go Caleb, put a bounty on you, but yeah, no, this is, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, Veil is one of our worst enemies, and their leader ability, of course, then means that is not a good matchup for us at all. And at least they've used 2 charges. But I think we probably need to pass here, and at least Imke will get us up to the 7 coin threshold for boat coming out and for powering up Flyndra's crew. I mean, we're not that far away from catching them here for what it's worth, especially if we were to spend these coins. But I think we're just asking for trouble here, and this is about to get a lot bigger. Alright, suddenly we have a lot of bounty that would have been useful earlier in the previous round, because then we wouldn't have had to use the slightly trickier Purge. But I think maybe with all that, we dump Purge here. Okay, Townsfolk. If we destroy stuff that has bounties, great, but we also used a bunch of our spenders in the previous round. Ixora, if we had spenders, would work. But we don't have much of that unless we use Mercenary Contract to make it happen. Okay, so I think in that case what we do is we will put a bounty on you with Witch Hunter, and we are considering using Mercenary Contract on our next turn. Alright, they'll pass there. I did not realize we were on even cards. For some reason, I thought we were round 1 red coin. Okay, apparently we're going to card down for the rest of the match. Alright, well, it's going to have to be Mercenary Contract here. It's going to be Witch Hunter Executioner, I think. I'm going to do this. Plus this, we're going to be slightly shy on the damage to trigger that bounty, which does stink. But it is enough, at least, for us to catch them here. That also, I believe, means we did not get up to, yeah, the Redanian or the Flyndr's crew threshold, but we're going to have to live with that. The bigger problem is that we're now going to be 1 card down for the rest of the match. Okay, so we do have scenario. We'd love to see the Acherontia, especially when we're a card down. That'd be a way for us to potentially make up for that. So, I mean, the Deckhand is potentially useful. We want to make sure we have enough Townsfolk to trigger this, of course, but we, at least at the moment, we do. Not sure Kurt's going to be that useful, to be honest with you. Not sure Purge is going to be that useful, to be honest with you. Not sure the Bounty Hunter is going to be any better. Okay, so in this case, we are going to need to use everything from our scenario and the treasure huntresses for our spenders, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. We'll start with our defender. Pay the tribute, sure. Alright, Triss Butterflies. Probably looking to get Crumb, won't have the resilience. Or at least that won't be a factor, but he's presumably their biggest card. Alright, so now we get Scenario down more safely. And then we can play Flyndr's crew. Alright, Incubus. What are they getting out? It's not a card I'm particularly thrilled about you giving us, and that is not a row I'm particularly thrilled about you putting that in either. Technically, we could get 1 additional counter taken off if we were to go Treasure Huntress here, plus Leader Building, right? I think so. Or are we going to be 1 coin shy? We might be 1 coin shy. Well, in that case, we could open Sesame and Leader Building. Okay. That should also get out the boat. Please don't go melee, bro. Oh my god. Alright, well, I was going to hide Flyndr's crew in there, but apparently not anymore. Alright, so let's do this. And now that means that we go down to 3 coins and still get maximum coins at the end of our turn. Let's hit... I mean, you're going to get huge. But I think we want to get rid of their smallest card, to be honest with you. Because that way, if we use Ixora, we can remove some bigger stuff. Okay, and we can spend 1 more round of this. And then we're going to go Treasure Huntress. Which will trigger the last chapter, which will give you a big chunk of damage, and therefore you no longer have might, so at least there's that. Now we're going to be spending coins pretty regularly, so I think we want to get things like Ixora down. Really want to destroy you, though. You should get destroyed at the end of our turn, though. So in that case, I guess we'll go for the Enraged Cyclops. And we can get, let's see, we want to do this as well. Alright, sure, they'll put on the Veil. That's their last leader ability charge, though. To go. Make some cards really big if they have the might. They don't have it yet, though. So I think now we probably get out Ixora. In fact, this is actually going to... It's going to set up Ixora to a certain extent. Okay, let's hide Ixora behind the defenders, I think. Is there anything else that really needs to go behind them? I mean, Townsfolk would be a point slam. Ixora's for damage. I think we go Ixora. Removal. They're tall enough that Ixora has some pretty serious potential. So now I think what we do is let's actually get... Probably put that on Azar Javed. Now we have 3 coins generated every turn, which means because we have poured 3 on the scenario, we can spend every coin that we have. We just unfortunately only can spend in chunks of 3 because we don't have an ideal defender. That stinks. Wow. Okay. Ixora was basically going to turn into our win condition, kind of, sort of, in combination with Gudrun. So now you and you are the cards that we benefit from the most. You're basically a throwaway at this point. I guess we'll go Deckhand here, and you'll get pretty big, so yeah, we'll hide you down here. And then we have enough coin generation, theoretically, here. Let's target you. And probably you we'd like to get rid of as well. And that's a lot of damage, fortunately. Renfree, though. Alright. What automatic game-winning ability will they get? One that will automatically win them the game, of course. And they'll use it. Oh, they'll also deal damage. Okay. Fortunately, the damage component is not a huge factor. Okay, so let's get down Townsfolk. We also should hide that. And if we could get rid of Tugo, theoretically that does deny them an engine. So that'd be kind of nice, although getting the coin generation does give Townsfolk boosts. I think we still focus a little bit more on the damage. I mean, once Tugo is down, then actually we've, what, 3 coin generation per turn, plus a 4th coin generation from scenario? Yeah, I mean, Tugo, in that case, is surviving 2 turns at most, so maybe it is best to do this instead. So the damage definitely adds up. Right, Cyclops will destroy one of their cards to damage one of our cards. I don't know. This might just be possible. Some way, somehow. Obviously, Witch Hunter doesn't do much of anything. But the big thing is that we just have one more... actually, technically, we can get some coin generation. So we are about to destroy Tugo on this turn. So now I think it's definitely most valuable for us to use Gudrun here. Unfortunately, they don't have as big units anymore. So I guess it's going to be Cyclops. It's going to be you. Obviously, we can't do it on you. But, alright. Will this be enough? Because, I don't know, Gudrun might wipe the entire board here, even if they have 2 cards to spare. What do they have left? It is Crumb. He is humongous. But he's not big enough by himself. And it's Ogre Warrior. And we will get the win. Card down. We will still get the win. Alright, so going up against Syndicate here, and this might be a mirror match. We'll go first. Alright, so we definitely don't want Vote in hand. Let's get rid of that. Otherwise, Flyndra's Crew is useful in round 3, but we don't really want to be using it in round 1. We only have 1 Sewer Raiders. Okay, good. We have a little bit of bounty setup. Yeah, okay, we actually have a lot of bounty setup. A whole lot of bounty setup. Okay, so this might be overkill in that case. But, okay, anything... Okay, the Acherontia, that's a little bit bigger. Okay. Would like to save that for round 3, but we'll see when we need to break that out. So I think what we'll do first is we might even begin with Sewer Raiders, or they're going to be able to answer anything super quickly if we throw down an engine first here. Now let's start a little bit slow with Sewer Raiders, and then we'll probably use the Witch Hunter to give us our initial bounty, and then we can immediately get value on Executioner. Okay, so we'd obviously like to destroy that Pearl Diver before it gets the chance to give the coins, and I think we can still make that happen. So if we go, put a bounty on you now. Next turn, we plan to remove. Alright, they'll go Bincy. Oh, that's very important that we go after her. Okay. Well, we were about to get a card on the board to answer you. Do we need to change things up? If we were to go Freak Show, we do have enough damage to answer you, but then you will still survive. Even if we use Hidden Cash, I think we're going to run just a few coins short, aren't we? That might still be necessary, otherwise Bincy's going to get out of control. So, okay, change of plans. I was going to go Executioner, but Freak Show gives us the flexibility to go after Bincy instead. And when she doesn't have a bounty, we are going to have to do this, though. And they are going to forfeit, because we immediately were able to answer Bincy. So there's a look at a Syndicate Bountycloaks deck using cards from the new The Tide Rises expansion. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions we should experiment with next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.